Out of 100%, 99% of books are not worth reading. Only 0.99% books are worth reading once, but 0.01% of books are worth reading 100 times. In this video, you will learn the exact protocol for reading books, remembering what you learned and how to read from books, remembering what you learned from books and how to learn from books, and not wasting time on them. Basically, how to use books and not to let them use you, because you need to realize that time wasted on phone, social media, anime and book is same, it's time wasted. Many people, when they read books, they waste their time not realizing it, and worse is that they call it productive. The problem with books is that you waste time and call it productive, because when you waste time on TV, social media, movies, you know you're wasting time. At least you call it addiction, a bad time wasting habit, so at least you try to minimize it or eliminate it. But when you don't realize that it's a waste of time and you call it productive, you can never get out of that hell. Now let's talk about how to save yourself from wasting time on books. First of all, let me make it clear that I'm talking about non-academic books, because you need to cram academic books to pass the exam. Also, I'm not a book hater. I have read books in the past and currently trying to read the book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. The only problem is that I need to find the time to read it because I kind of have a busy schedule. Now, when you read a book, there are so many things you can implement, and the problem is that you forget about majority of them and only remember few of them and apply like 2 3 of them. So if you only implemented 2 3 things, what's the point of reading the whole book of 200 pages? Think about it. Wouldn't you just read 2 3 pages at the beginning, 10 20 pages, and just go and implemented them, then come back and read the rest of it and just repeat the cycle? But you don't do that because you have this in your mind that I need to read the book fast and finish it quickly. You're treating your books like a college assignment or video game mission that needs to be completed as quickly as you can, and then move on to the next one, and then next one, and then next one. If you treat books like this, you can never get value out of any type of book. You need to treat the books as a machine manual guide. Think about it as if you are an operator at the factory and you can only read like one machine manual a day. Would you read the whole machine manual of every machine, or would you only read the manual of the machine you are currently using? Exactly like that. You need to read the books based on your life scenarios and only read one book at a time, not more than one. So, what do I mean by life scenario? Well, you need to read the book based on your life requirements. Let's take an example. There is a guy who does a job and he hates his life and he has to work long hours and he only does it for money. So, this guy should read books on finance and business. He should not read books on social skills because he cannot implement social skill book knowledge right now, but he can implement finance knowledge. Everything has the right time, just like you wouldn't use an airplane to go to your home, which is 1 kilometer away. So you need to use the right tool at the right time. Now, the actionable step for this section is that you should find out what type of book you should read right now based on your life scenarios. Now, next is how to read books. Now, to read books, you should buy a hard copy of a book. But if you can't afford it, then and just want to download a PDF, that is still a second best option. And if you are like a Kindle, that's still good. That is still better than downloading some PDF on your phone. But what I don't want you to do is read summaries or listen to audiobooks. I have seen ads and YouTubers talk about audiobooks and how a guy is working out while listening to audiobooks. The issue with this is that the gym is for building muscles, not knowledge. If you want to build the knowledge, you should go to library. So here this guy is not even focusing his workout and not even building the muscle that he should be building if he was focused. And he is also getting ADHD. His attention span is getting lower by doing multitasking with learning. So he will have less focus not only in his workout but also in his life in general, like driving, job, studying. This happens because when you try to learn something and do other tasks like eating, your brain trains to have lower focus. It gets trained to have a lower focus and also increases the stress level because now your brain has to do two things at once, which are causing it to get stressed out. Now it has many health problems, but the biggest one is reduced testosterone. As you know that stress increases cortisol, which reduces testosterone. So my question is, why should you multitask like that? Do you want low testosterone, bro, which will cause erectile dysfunction and makes you infertile and also lowers your confidence? Now, for multitasking for shallow tasks is no problem. For example, making protein shake in mixer while cooking meal in cooker. But you should never combine multitasking with learning, except for music, because in music you are not learning, you're enjoying, getting into mood. So listening to music while working out can be okay. But when you combine learnings like YouTube video and audiobook, your brain has to learn and work. Your brain can do multitasking, multi-working, but not multi-learning. And if you think about it, let's say you have an exam the next week and it's really an important exam. Would you consume the knowledge while eating and working out, or would you consume it on your study table with no distraction? Most of us will say that whilst being focused. So why is it that we treat our college useless knowledge, yeah, useless, pretty much useless knowledge, as something important and cram it properly as compared to actual valuable knowledge that you consume whilst being distracted? Because if you think about it, why would you learn the most useful information when you are not in condition to properly remember it? You should only consume knowledge when you are in condition to do so. So no more videos while watching, or like, wait, not watching, but kind of like eating, running, working out. Just use music instead. Try it for a few weeks and you'll see how much focus and attention span you have improved. Now, as for summaries, they are actually bad because they don't give you the same level of feeling that an actual book would. They are like supplements. Supplements will only work if you have a good whole food diet. So you should treat them like supplements and read the whole book first and then use them in future when you need to revisit the book. Now, as for summaries, I want you to make your own with a pen and piece of paper and then take photo of that and make it into a PDF and then save it on your phone or device and on a cloud storage. As for why pen and piece of paper, not some digital method, as for why pen and piece of paper, for that I will say that digital is not bad, but when you think about it, why is it that college teachers, tuition teachers make their student make their own physical notes instead of digital? It has to do with one simple thing, that when you make your notes digitally, you are typing like a monkey, you are not mindful, and so when you make notes like that, you retain less knowledge as compared to when you make it using pen and piece of paper, where you'll be way more focused. Now you know how to read books. Now let's talk about what books to read. Because as I said at the start of the video, only 0.99% of the books are worth reading, but 0.01% books are worth reading 100 times. Here I will say that don't read a book from which you cannot take practical and actionable steps and knowledge within first 24 pages. Even if it's really popular book that everyone is suggesting you, just don't read it. Now you may be like, I don't like the book in first 20 pages, but I will read the whole book and see why this is so much important that everyone is saying this book is so good. For that I will say that authors are really smart. They put the most important things first, and if what they put as most important thing is something you cannot use in real life, it's useless book. And also, don't read a book if you don't understand the first 20 pages of a book. And first 20 pages, it means the start of the first chapter, not the cover page or first starting pages included. So if you don't understand the first 20 pages, then you should move on. The book is not for you. You may be not at that level to understand it. So even if you read the whole book, you will never be able to get the knowledge out of that whole book. And even if you get some bit of value out of it, it will be useless because you could have spent your time reading some other book. So move on and read some other book. And remember that you can always read that book some other time in future when you do become at that level. Now I will give you recommendation of top 2 books that you can start reading blindly. This is my recommendation. You can put yours in the comment section. So first is Bhagavad Gita. It is a book written by warriors for warriors. It is also the religious book that atheists read, and so even if you are like atheist or different religious than Hindu, you can still read it. Many people read it when they get retired And the thing is that this book teaches you about life. And if you're retired, why would you read it now that 60% of more of your life is past? Note that it will not be useless, but you should have read it when you were younger. Now, the second book is the one that will get you 1,000 nanogram per deciliter of testosterone and will make you fertile, because right now you may be infertile male. Its name is Estrogeneration, or people call it Astrogeneration. This book talks about how plastic, soy, plastic, artificial color, and other estrogenic substances are destroying man. If you want non-boring testosterone guide, because most testosterone videos on YouTube are boring and repeated, you can absolutely 100% read this book. Now, if you notice, we are missing some friction books here. That's because only friction books I read was mangas and one light novel called No Game No Life. And after that, I never read any fiction book because I read them when I was an anime addict like Weeb or Otaku. And when I quitted my anime addiction, I stopped consuming every entertainment media, including fiction. But after watching a video from YouTuber called Carl Ram, I have decided that I will give fiction a try. So in future, I will make a video on fiction books, but for now, I don't have the time to read it. If you like this type of non-ChatGPT copy pasted video, you might want to subscribe to the channel. It will be really helpful for me to make this type of high quality content. If you want me to cover different topics, then you can tell me in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one.